Did you know that 78% of millionaires today were either broke or middle class just 10 years ago? Yet the average person will stay broke for the next 30 years without ever figuring out why. I know this because at 30 years old, I was completely dead broke. Negative net worth, drowning in credit card debt, working a job I hated, and watching my bank account drop lower every single month. But exactly 7 years later, I became a millionaire. Not from some lucky lottery ticket or inheritance. I built it step by step using a simple 7-year rule that literally anyone can copy. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain to show you the exact formula I used. If I can go from negative to 7 figures in 7 years, so can you. But first, you have to understand the trap that keeps 99% of people broke forever. The system wants you to stay a slave. Go to school, get good grades, get a safe job, buy a nice car, get a mortgage, and retire at 65 with barely enough to survive. That's the script they feed you from the day you're born. And if you follow it, you'll work 40 years just to stay comfortable while the rich get richer off your labor. I refuse to play that game. So I created my own 7-year rule instead. It has exactly 3 phases that turned my life around. Phase 1. Years 1-2. Survival and skill stacking. Phase 2. Years 3-5. Aggressive side hustle scaling. Phase 3. Years 6-7. Asset explosion. Follow this timeline exactly and you can copy my results. Let's start with the ugly truth of where I was at the beginning. At 30, I had $37,000 in debt and earned $28,000 a year before tax. My net worth was minus $37,000. I was the definition of broke, but I made 2 promises to myself. First, I would never take on bad debt again. Second, I would stack high-income skills like my life depended on it, because it did. Phase 1 is all about surviving while building a new foundation. Most people try to skip this phase and wonder why they fail. You can't build a skyscraper on sand. Year 1 was brutal. I cut every expense that didn't keep me alive. Sold the financed car, moved into a cheaper flat, stopped eating out, drinking, and buying stupid stuff to impress people who didn't care. I lived like a monk for 12 months. At the same time, I spent every spare hour stacking skills. I learned sales, copywriting, video editing, and basic online marketing, all free on YouTube. I treated my brain like a weapon that needed sharpening. By the end of year 1, my income was still the same, but my expenses dropped by 60%. That created my first surplus. Then in year 2, I started monetizing the skills. I took the sales and copywriting knowledge and got a higher paying job in sales. Salary jumped from $28K to $55K overnight. I also started freelancing on the side doing copywriting for local businesses. That added another $15K, $20K per year. Suddenly I had real money coming in. I attacked the debt like a man possessed. Used the snowball method. Smallest debts first for quick wins. Within 24 months, I was completely debt-free. Net worth 0, but I was free. And I had high-income skills that nobody could take away. That's the power of phase 1. Most people never escape the debt trap because they keep spending like idiots while praying for a raise. I stopped praying and started building. Now, phase 2 is where the magic really starts. Years 3-5. Aggressive side hustle scaling. This is when you stop trading time for money and start building something that pays you while you sleep. I took everything I learned in phase 1 and turned it into multiple income streams. First, I started a YouTube channel teaching the exact skills that got me out of debt. Second, I launched an online course teaching copywriting to beginners. Third, I began affiliate marketing, promoting tools and software I actually used. At the start, these side hustles made almost nothing. Month 1 on YouTube, $47,000. But I kept showing up every single week. I treated content like compound interest. Every video was a tiny asset that would pay me forever. By year 4, the channel crossed 100,000 subscribers. The course was doing 6 figures per year. Affiliate income was growing fast. Meanwhile, I kept the day job because I'm not an idiot. That salary paid the bills and funded the growth. This is the part most people get wrong. They quit their job too early and wonder why the side hustle fails. Keep the job until the side hustle pays you double what the job does. That's the rule. By the end of year 5, my total income was over $300,000 per year, all while working maybe 20 extra hours per week on the business. The key was ruthless focus. I said no to everything that didn't move the needle. No nights out, no expensive holidays, no new cars. Every penny got reinvested into the business or into assets, which brings us to phase 3. Years 6 to 7, asset explosion. This is where you stop chasing money and let money chase you. By year 6, I had over $500,000 saved and invested. I followed a simple allocation rule: 50% into index funds tracking the S&P 500, 30% into individual growth stocks I understood deeply, 20% into my own online business to keep scaling. I also bought my first investment property using a 25% deposit. The numbers started working for me instead of me working for the numbers. Compound interest became my new best friend. The stock market was doing 10 to 12% per year on average. My business was growing 100% per year. Rental income covered the mortgage and gave extra cash flow. By the middle of year 7, my net worth crossed $1,000 for the first time. I was 37 years old, 7 years from broke to millionaire, and I didn't inherit a penny. I didn't have rich parents. I didn't win the lottery. I just followed the 7-year rule. Let me give you the exact timeline and numbers so you can copy it. Year 0, age 30. Net worth $37,000. Income $28,000. Year 1, cut expenses, learned skills, lived cheap. Income still $28K but surplus created. Year 2, new job $55K, freelance $20K, now $75K total. Debt gone, net worth $0. Year 3, side hustles earning $50K on top of job. Total income $125K. Investments begin. Year 4, side hustles $150K, quit job, total income $300K plus, net worth $250K. Year 5, business scales hard, income $450K, net worth $600K. Year 6, investments compound plus property purchase, income $600K, net worth $850K. Year 7, cross $1.2 million. Officially a millionaire at 37. That's the blueprint. Now here's the truth most gurus won't tell you. This only works if you're willing to delay gratification like a maniac for the first 3-4 years. Most people can't stand being uncomfortable. They want the Lamborghini before they've earned the right. I drove a 10-year-old car until I was worth over $500,000. I lived in a small flat, while my friends bought big houses they couldn't afford. I looked stupid for a few years. Then I became the rich one. Funny how that works. So if you're serious about copying this, here's your exact action plan starting today. Step 1. Calculate your current net worth. Be brutally honest. Step 2. Cut every single expense that isn't essential. Aim to free up at least 50% of your income. Step 3. Pick 2 to 3 high-income skills and master them in the next 12 months. Sales, copywriting, and video are the holy trinity. Step 4. Start creating content or offering services using those skills within 6 months. Step 5. Reinvest every penny of profit back into skills, tools, or assets. Step 6. Never touch the principal. Live off one income stream, grow the others. Step 7. When your investments pay you more than your job, you're free. That's it. 7 years from now, you'll either be exactly where you are today, or you'll be a millionaire. The choice is yours. But whatever you do, start today. But wait, there's something I didn't tell you in the first part. Most people watch that timeline and think, yeah, but Mark had it easier. Wrong. Let me show you what actually happened behind the scenes so you don't get blindsided like I almost did. Year 1, month 8, I almost quit everything. I'd been grinding skills for 8 months straight, working 80-hour weeks, and my freelance income was still only $400 a month. My mates were out every weekend living their best lives while I sat at home editing videos nobody watched. I felt like the biggest loser on earth. That's when the real test hits everyone. The dark night of the soul where you question if it's worth it. I nearly went back to the 9-5 slave life, but I made myself a promise. I would give it 24 full months no matter what. No excuses. That single decision saved my entire future. You need to make the same promise right now. Write on a piece of paper. I will follow the 7-year rule for at least 24 months before I judge it. Sign it. Stick it on your wall. Because the first 12–18 months feel like you're running into a brick wall. Then suddenly the wall disappears. Let's talk about the exact skills that actually moved the needle for me. Skill number 1, selling. Not slimy used car selling. Real selling. Understanding human psychology and solving problems for money. I read every book I could find, Cialdini, Oren Klaff, and Singal. Then I practiced on real clients. I cold called 100 businesses in 1 month offering copywriting, got rejected 97 times, but the 3 yeses paid me $9,000. That's when I realized rejection is just tuition. Skill number 2, copywriting. This is the cheat code of the internet. Good copy turns words into money. I studied Dan Kennedy, Gary Halbert, and Stephen Georgi. Then I wrote 1 sales letter every single day for 90 days straight. Most were garbage, but by day 80 I wrote one that made a client an extra $47,000 in a weekend. He paid me $10,000 bonus on the spot. Skill number 3, video storytelling. You're watching the result right now. I learned how to hook in 3 seconds, keep attention for 15 minutes, and make people take action. I studied Mr. Beast, Alex Hormozi, and yes, even old school infomercials. Every technique I use in this video is stolen from the greats and tweaked. These 3 skills created every penny of my millions, and you can learn all 3 for free if you're willing to put in the hours. Now let's talk about the side hustle scaling phase in brutal detail. Years 3 to 5 is where most people screw up royally. They either A, build something nobody wants, or B, build something good, but quit before it compounds. I did both in my first attempts. My first YouTube channel? Travel vlogs. Died at 2,000 subscribers because nobody cared. My first online course? Advanced options trading. Made $3,000 total, then died because I hated teaching it. Then I asked myself one question that changed everything. What do I actually know that people desperately want and will pay for? Answer: how to escape the 9 to 5 and make money online when you're starting from zero. That became my niche. I've been brutally honest about my failures and wins ever since. People started binge watching because they saw themselves in me. That's the real secret. Be the person your past self needed. Now, here's the exact content system I used to go from 0 to 300K plus per year. I posted 3 videos per week for 3 straight years. No excuses. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. UK time. I scripted them exactly like this video. Hook, story, rule, breakdown, CTA. I spent $0 on ads the first 18 months. Pure organic growth through consistency and value. By video 150, the algorithm finally noticed. Views went from 500 to 5,000 to 50,000 overnight. That's when the money exploded. The course launches became events. I'd spend 30 days building hype with free content, then open the course for 5 days only. First launch, $47,000. Second launch, $128,000. Third launch, $289,000. All from an email list I built by giving away free value like a madman. Here's the asset allocation I used once the money started rolling in. This is the part nobody talks about, what to actually do with the cash. 50% went straight into Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund. Boring? Yes. Effective? Undeniably. That $500,000 I invested in year 6 is worth over $1.1 million today, just from market growth. 30% went into individual stocks I understood inside out. Companies I used every day and studied for years. Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Meta, the usual suspects. I only bought when they were hated and cheap. 20% stayed in the business to hire editors, thumbnail designers, and run small ads. I also bought 2 investment properties in year 6, both with 25% deposits, both now worth double what I paid and throwing off $2,500 per month in rent. The key was never ever touching the money that was working for me. I still lived like I was broke until my investments paid me more than my old salary. That took until the end of year 6. Then I finally upgraded my life. But by then, I could buy anything I wanted in cash. No debt, no stress, just freedom. Now I want to give you the exact checklist I wish I had at 30. If you do these 10 things, you're basically copying my millionaire blueprint. 1. Track every single penny for 30 days straight. 2. Cut your living expenses to under 50% of income within 6 months. 3. Learn sales until you can close 3 out of 10 prospects. 4. Build a personal brand around your biggest struggle to success story. 5. Create content every week without fail for 2 years minimum. 6. Build an email list from day 1. This is your money printer. 7. Launch a high-ticket product, 500 plus, once you have 5,000 engaged followers. 8. Reinvest minimum 70% of profits for the first 5 years. 9. Never buy liabilities until your assets pay for them. 10. Review your net worth every 90 days and celebrate small wins. Do this, and 7 years from today, you'll be in the same position I am right now. Or you can keep scrolling TikTok and stay exactly where you are. Your choice. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to show you the map I used. Whether you follow it is up to you. But I promise you this. If a broke 30-year-old with no advantages can become a millionaire in 7 years, there's literally nothing stopping you except your excuses. Start today, right now. Open a new spreadsheet and write down your current net worth. Then write year 7 goal, $1,000. Now work backwards and start building. I'll be waiting at the finish line to welcome you to the club. See you in 7 years, legend.